everyone, welcome back to The Nest. This is HerNest with Rose Joy, where healthcare, soul care, and self care blend to birth wholeness. And today we are going to talk about decluttering our mind. How do we let go before a new season? Now, we are headed towards the end of the year, and you might be feeling a little bit taggish. You may be in that space where you really don't know how to feel. You don't know how to exactly place the year because of mixed feelings, mixed emotions here and there. And now that we are transitioning from one year to the next year, it's also important that we know what to move forward with and what to let go. And depending on how the year has been, you could be the one who has ticked all the New Year resolutions, you were disciplined enough, or things just went well in your life and you are able to tick a good number of your resolutions. And so you are so happy, feeling excited and optimistic about the next year because of how this year has been. But for someone else, you could be feeling like a failure because maybe you have only ticked 1 out of 10 or 2 out of 10 of your New Year resolutions. Or for someone else, things may have entirely just gone out of control. Instead of being better, instead of things improving, it got from bad to worse. Instead of things changing, they changed, but they changed for the worst and not for the best. So all of us may be falling in either of those groups. And for someone else, it may just have been like, nothing really much going on. Probably you're not the New Year resolutions type of a person. You just allow yourself get into the new year. Unaenda na flow. You don't really think deeply about New Year resolutions and goals and such like things. Taking us deep into the conversation is why your mind feels cluttered. Clutter is just essentially an open tab in your brain. So this is just a group or a collection of information, thoughts, feelings, ideas, plans that are put in one area of your brain. Anything that you do and you bring it to completion, your brain checks it as something, an activity that is done. But any plan, any ideas that you've not executed, any objectives that you've not met, any goals that you have not yet achieved, the brain somehow keeps that tab open to make sure that it's a way of it telling you, we've not worked on this thing. And so it will keep reminding you time and time again. The reason as to why our mind feels cluttered, number one, is because we are carrying old conversations. Any information that your brain saves must have been something that somehow you felt deep in your spirit. That's why your brain felt like we need to keep a record of this. Old conversations that don't serve you. Most of the time, these are conversations that either diminish you, conversations that make you feel stupid, or conversations that make you feel bad in some type of way, conversations that really drain your spirit and don't nourish you. If you have stored these kind of conversations in your mind, you're of course going to feel cluttered because any conversation that you have in your mind carries a voice to it. Could be your mother's voice, could be your friend's voice, could be your partner's voice, any person's voice, even your boss, your children. So all these conversations carry a certain voice with them. And the fact that this tab is open, it means that this conversation made you feel some type of way. If it doesn't really serve you, then it's good to actually let it go and just close that tab because it's not serving you in any way. In fact, it contributes to your mental fatigue and emotional burden that you carry just because you're having conversations in your mind that are no longer serving you. Another thing that can make us have cluttered minds is holding on to disappointments. All of us are optimistic about things and many things. For instance, I am optimistic about everything in my life. Yeah, I'm optimistic about my career. I'm optimistic about my life. I'm optimistic about my family, the one that I'm in and the one that I'll have, God willing. I'm just optimistic about everything. I'm optimistic about this country. I'm optimistic about young people in this country. I'm optimistic about Africa. I'm just optimistic about everything. And when you are optimistic about all these things, we usually have this thing that is playing in our minds about how good things are supposed to go. But that's not how the world moves. You will be disappointed. Not once, not twice. Somebody at your workplace. You can be disappointed in your career. I have been disappointed a lot of times when it comes to my career. You can be disappointed it's just part of life. It's not even that thing that happens rarely. I think disappointments somehow happen in our lives more often than we even realize, because you can be disappointed by how you thought someone is supposed to maybe relate to you, and then they show you a side that you are not expecting, and then you are disappointed. So we are going to face disappointments in many, many other ways. And so if you keep hold of all these disappointments, and by keeping hold of them, I mean you keeping score. My friend told me this and she disappointed me in this way. My child has done this and that's a disappointment. My partner told me this and I am now disappointed. These things that disappoint you are essentially just that moment when you fail to reconcile the fact that the idea that you had about this person or this thing has not turned out the way you wanted it to turn out. It's good if you acknowledge the disappointment and then move forward with life, but when you hold on to it for such a long time, these are those things that are going to create clutter in your mind. And then another thing is collecting other people's expectations. And I feel like this one is even connected to holding on to disappointments, because you will never know someone's heart. I think there's a Bible verse that says that you can't know the heart of a man unless the spirit that lives in that man. Even for us to know the heart of God for us, we have to first welcome the Holy Spirit. It's only the Holy Spirit who can give us information about the heart of God. If we have this expectation about people and things in general, I feel like, again, it is just us setting us up for disappointments, because you really don't know me that well. You may think of me in a certain way. And truth be told, imagine I'm not that image that you have of me in my head. And equally, you are not that image that I've put in my mind. Anytime I do something that challenges that idea of me in your head, you're going to feel some type of way, because it's like your brain is telling you this, but the reality is giving you a different feedback. I said about how optimistic I am about this country, but I have also taken myself through this conversation where I tell myself, there's a way I would want Kenya to move, there's a way I would want Kenya to look like. But I have made peace with the fact that I don't have big expectations about it, because it's entirely out of my control. I can't control the politics of this country. The most I can do is just register as a voter, show up during election time, probably champion for peaceful and fair elections, rally for justice and law. So that's the most I can do. But when it comes to how things will unfold after that, that is out of my control. And so those are some of those things that I'm slowly learning to put very little expectation about them, but only be optimistic about the best that is yet to come. And then lastly could be you replaying things that you feel like you could have done differently. This one is entirely tied to regret. Anytime you wish that you could have done something differently, that is an open tab in your mind, because it tells you that you had a chance of doing it well, but you didn't do it because of I don't know what reason. And now you may somehow feel, because of the outcomes you're getting because of not doing that thing in that way, you feel like I could not be here if I could have done this thing differently. This one has already told you that, you know what, I'm disappointed in myself because I didn't act a certain way at that time. And the fact that that thing has already gone, and you may not really have that ability to go back and change time. So if you have that tab open, that's again clutter that is in your mind. From that list that I have already outlined, you find that mental clutter is just a group of unprocessed emotions that are seated somewhere at the corner of your mind. So these things happened, you have just not processed them well. Now let's go to the power of the end year letting go. Think of it this way. Every season has a purpose and it equally has an expiry date. That means either good or bad, there is a time that this season will come to an end. And I feel like as human beings, that is one of those things that I feel it's very beautiful for you to have ability to experience life without holding on to any season. You are grateful and happy about all the good seasons that happen in your life. And for those bad seasons that equally happen in your life, you take in the lesson that this season has brought. And then if you really process your emotions during these seasons, in both good and bad seasons, I feel like it will contribute to you having that fluid mind. You just exist because of today. You exist because of the situation that is at your hand today. Yesterday's actions or yesterday's disappointments don't dictate to you how tomorrow should go. Yes, yesterday is there to teach us a few things, but you're not supposed to live there. You're just supposed to learn a few things from there. But getting to a point where you store information from yesterday and this information now makes you incapable of moving on with tomorrow and making and even thinking how better tomorrow can be, I feel like that is where there's problem. And even if you had a positive yesterday, you dwelling on it in such a way that you stop doing better for tomorrow just because you had a good yesterday, again, that's going to be a problem. You having that balance is the whole goal. Now, knowing that all these seasons come to an end, it's good to know that letting go is not about losing, because as one season checks out, another one checks in. Letting go is not just about losing, but it's about making space. And what space are we making in this case? We are making space to create new ideas. We are making space to create new friendships, a new version of us, and even new opportunities that the new season usually brings. So letting go in that sense isn't bad. It's actually a good thing because we want to have new experiences. For instance, I'm always looking for new experiences in my life. I want to make new friends. I want to visit new places. I want to try new types of foods. There's this thing in me that just wants some level of newness. And I feel like that's just about life because I've not seen tomorrow. And that's why I'll be optimistic about seeing tomorrow, it being a new day. I'm optimistic about next year, it being a new year. Now, on to the next part 3 of the video, and that is the practical ways of letting go. And me being a journaling person, we are going to use our notebooks and our pens. This is how we are going to do this simple exercise. You're going to take your notebook and your pen and you're going to write without thinking. Just write anything that crosses your mind about how the year has been. Write it down. Don't limit to anything. Could be fears, could be your success, could be whatever it is, the good, bad, ugly. Write each and every one of them. And then after that, you're going to take these 3 audit questions that are going to help you now get in the process of decluttering your mind. And the first question is, first, I feel like I'll put for you a post here with those questions and then you can screenshot it, or I feel like the best thing is to follow me on Instagram because I'll be posting this particular emotional audit questions. I'll be posting it on my stories that will just help you now get into rhythm with decluttering your mind. And so the first question will be, what drained me this year? You're going to read through whatever you've written. I'm yet to do my emotional audit first, but we will do it with you. Hopefully, by the time this video will be going up, I will have done mine. And the second question would be, what nurtured me this year? These are the good things, that happened to you. Again, put them down. And the third question would be, what do I want to carry forward with? And what must stay behind? I think it is at that point where we are going to close and open tabs. We are going to close all tabs that are not serving us, all those tabs that are bringing hell than heaven in our lives. Now, after that exercise, I feel like that will have already given you an overview of how emotional this year has been. It's going to give you a sense of direction in moving forward into your new year. And now, after writing all that and deeply introspecting, you're going to write a letter. This particular episode, kuna kuandika tutaandika hizi assignments, but these assignments are good. These are tools that are going to guarantee you are thriving and rising in this new season that we are going in. We are going to write a release letter, and the title of the letter should read, I release everything that no longer reflects who I'm becoming. That's going to be the title of this letter that you are writing. So you're going to release your fears. You're going to release your disappointments. You're going to release your old habits. You're going to release your overthinking loops. You're going to release people. Yeah. Sometimes we usually talk about let go, let go, let go. And we feel like we need to let go of maybe just habits. But people also fall in this category, especially those who contribute to you having migraines because of who they are or because of the things they do in your life. I feel like those ones are the first ones to actually go. And then you're going to do this ritual. Mine is usually burning. Once I do anything like such that I don't want to remember or I don't want to keep score of, I usually go and burn it. I just light up a matchbox, and then as I see that paper burning to ashes, it's like that thing has gone. And by the after doing that ritual, I usually feel for real imeenda. Yeah, I had myself in a situation where I had to burn a certain experience in my life so that it doesn't continue weighing down on me, because I had tried to let it go just by not thinking about it, but it was not leaving my mind. And that's when I came across this idea of you writing and then burning that thing up. Imagine I did that and that thing went. Even as I think about it right now, it doesn't really affect me to that degree in which it used to affect me with. So for real, it disappeared and it went. Now you can choose to do this, or you can choose whatever way you feel like will help you. It's like you telling your brain, close these tabs. We are no longer working on these tabs. They are not useful. They are not important. And because we are moving on to a new season, close this chapter. You can equally tear the paper. You may not really have a matchbox to do this whole thing, or it may look dramatic. Exactly what are you burning? So you can just write it down and then tear it into small, small pieces. It's just an act of symbolism and telling your mind that we are done with this thing. It no longer serves us in our lives. Another small exercise that will follow after burning or tearing your little letter is we are going to pick a one word for the new season. And this one word is important because it's going to be your guide towards any decisions that you make, intentions, goals, plans. Everything that you'll be doing for this new season is going to be led, or is going to be anchored by this one word that you want. Or you can choose from one of our taglines. You can choose nurturing, or you can use thrive, or you can use rise. Everything that you'll be creating, or every decision that you're going to make, that will now enable you move forward, or that will enable you make this new season more and more rich compared to the past season that you just left, is because it will be anchored using this one word for it. You will also have to clear one physical space or one physical thing. And you may feel like, okay, how important is cleaning or clearing things up on the physical space? It's because it's a way of you telling your mind we are ready for a new season. Something about the mind is it has to be stimulated. Either way, you want to really act on something, there has to be a trigger. And this thing is just that trigger that's going to activate that thing of we are now into the new season. Like this is a new me. It's you just activating that part of your brain that now welcomes this new season. That's why we are still going to clear up a physical space. It can be decluttering your house, could be decluttering your wardrobe. Go get rid of those clothes, shoes, and anything that is in your wardrobe that you're not using. It can equally be cluttering your files. For instance, I just realized I have so many files that I no longer use in my computer. Why do I still have them? I'm equally going to declutter my gallery, because again, I just have these screenshots, other photos that I may have taken, probably 5 photos that almost look the same. Do I really need them? Honestly, do I really need them? No. Now to the emotional bit of the video and of this whole process in general is the fact that letting go comes with grief. Remember I said that all of us have these expectations about things. We are optimistic about one, two, or three things that we have, and sometimes things don't go the way we wanted it to go. And this is you coming and accepting and acknowledging the fact that I really wanted this thing to go this way, but it didn't happen that way. It didn't go the way I wanted it to go. It will evoke certain emotions because you will feel disappointed, you will feel hurt, you will feel confused. These are just emotions that come with you getting something different from what you had expected. Depending on what it is that you are letting go, some people may be letting go of important things or special things in their lives, such as, let's say, marriage. It has come to a point where you feel like, I need to let go of this thing. This thing is killing me more than it's building me up. Yeah. So of course, such a thing is going to hit you with blows. You won't just be writing it, yeah, I'm letting go of this person. Even relationships. It doesn't have to be a relationship that was formalized into marriage. It may just be a relationship, or it may be a friendship. And someone said how friendship breakups somehow have this deeper pain compared to romantic breakups. And have I experienced a friendship breakup? I feel so, though it was not really that clear, or it was not really that situation where, you've done this thing to me, and so I'm letting go. Or I think there was just some confusion, and of course I felt some type of way because these people were my friends, these people were in my inner circle, and then it got to a point where they are not there, and I can't just assume the fact that we were never friends. So of course that made me feel some type of way, and grief to an extent. Yeah, grief to some extent. And so this whole process is going to evoke some emotions in you. I feel like you need personal space while doing this thing so that you can welcome any emotions that come with this process. And I would also not want you to restrain those emotions. I want them to come out, because remember, this is a tab we are supposed to close. You just have to accept the emotions that come with it, however painful they are. And I know acceptance is not as easy as I may put it, but unfortunately, it's the only way that you can do to close a season off. You just have to accept what was. You just have to accept the reality of what that situation brought, and then now let it go. And so I would want you to welcome all these emotions with an open heart, not because of you reliving the moment, but because you deserve newness. You deserve this new season. You deserve to move forward with a lighter heart. You deserve to move forward better judgment, so that you can do better during this new season. And you taking yourself through this process will enable us move into our new season with grace, care, with love, with open hearts, and it will also encourage us to be optimistic and full of faith and hope. Now, once again, if you are not a subscriber, please subscribe, like, comment, share for all those who feel like this information will be beneficial to their friends, to their other family members who can equally share it to them. So thank you again for staying with me till the end. Subscribe, and let us nurture ourselves, let us thrive and rise into the best versions of ourselves, considering we are now transitioning from one season on to the next season. And I wish you all the best. I also really want to know how the exercise went through. After doing this exercise, please come and comment on the comment section, whatever it is that you'd want the community to know or to learn from you, or just letting us know. We'll really, really appreciate it. So until next time, goodbye.